Hey, we got a big battle in the South this weekend. Who's on upset alert? Two teams, I will tell you, that can't afford to lose this weekend. And we have a special guest player joining the show along with our special guest picker. All right, week 3 to ELF. Let's go.
We doing everything they talk about. You know I'm everything a boss about. Not putting work and gotta toss them out. I'm really biting, they just barking out. I'm really riding, they just parking now. Hit street, what to talk about. See the big H when I'm walking.
Hey, before we get this thing started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop a comment. Let's talk about it, see how things are going.
Welcome to another episode of Base Coverage, everyone. This show is presented to you by Knoah Teamwear. I'm your host, Jamal Clay, and we made it to week 3 of the ELF. Another pivotal week for a lot of teams, a lot of good matchups. You know, we got 2 undefeated teams going against each other to battle out in the South. Some teams have been hit by the injury bug, which has been unfortunate, but we'll see how that plays out and maybe provides a little bit more pressure to certain teams heading into this weekend slate. But ultimately, you know, a lot is going to happen this weekend. We're going to learn a lot about a couple teams and a couple teams I'm interested in. Which team is on upset alert. We'll get into that in the breakdown a little bit. But today we have a special guest player joining the show. And you know, he's going to be joining us talking about his upcoming matchup this weekend. So, you know, I don't want to waste too much more of your time. Here's a quick word from our team at Knoah before we get into our interview with our special guest player. Welcome back, everyone. We have a special guest today on the show, wide receiver for the Barcelona Dragons, Kevin Sweet. We have joining us today. Kevin, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good, man. You guys are off to a fast start over there. How's it feel?
It feels great, man. We're just we're taking it week by week and trying to go 1-0 each week.
Most definitely. Hey, just watching you guys play. I know you're off to a fast start. You and Zach seem to have a pretty good connection there. Obviously, for you with 20 catches, I think 221 yards, 4 touchdowns. But when I watch you guys, I see a team that's fighting, that's gritty, that's also having fun. So that's what makes it kind of enjoyable to see you guys having as much fun and winning at the same time. So we talked about a little bit. You know, obviously your first win versus Stuguard. Started off slow, but you guys exploded in the second quarter and ultimately ended up winning that game. And then going to Hamburg to beating the Sea Devils, who were also in the championship game last year. So based on, obviously it's still early in the season, but based on those 2 wins, you know, how's it feel? What's the morale of the team right now?
It's great. The morale is really high. It was awesome to go into Hamburg last weekend and beat Hamburg at their place. I think everyone's just super excited, man. We didn't really know. I think we don't really know how good we could be after week 1, but then last week kind of solidified it. Kind of reassured us that, hey, man, we can compete in this league and make a run.
Yeah, I think bouncing off last year with the Dragons as a team, they got off to a slow start. And then towards the middle of the season, we started seeing a different team that was, you know, competing and battling and almost made the playoffs. And I think going into this season, a lot of people were, I don't want to say shocked, but a lot of people, I believe, felt like the Dragons could be a team that could possibly push for a playoff run. And you guys have proven that within, you know, obviously your first 2 games. For you, and take us in a little bit, and obviously you don't have to expose anything. I'm not asking that, but what's been the biggest improvement from week 1 to week 2 for this team?
Man, we're just I think our mentality really sets us apart. You know, it's constantly harped on that going 1-0 doesn't mean anything. Going 2-0 doesn't mean anything. You know, it doesn't matter. All you're trying to do is go 1-0 each week. But I think this group is just more than anything just excited to play football. And, you know, we're excited to be around each other and play for each other. It's great team chemistry, and the locker room's great. And it's just fun being out there.
What type of impact has the head coach had on the team?
An incredible impact just from what I've seen so far. You know, I wasn't around last year, so
Yeah.
I can't really attest to what happened. But as far, you know, just from what I've seen, it's great having Coach Andrew around because he brings NFL experience and also European experience being in Potsdam last year. So he gives you the best of both worlds. And, you know, our practice is kind of set up like an NFL practice and get in, get our work done, and then get out. And it's just it's been a blessing for me just to be able to learn from someone who has a lot of football experience like him.
I would say watching you guys and watching the Rhein Fire, who are also in the same conference as you guys, you definitely see the NFL experience playing a role with not just like the play call and the schemes, but you know, the old adage, complementary football, right? You know, being able to play off on each other throughout the game, not being too high, not being too low, and being able to capitalize on mistakes. And I definitely see, you know, that with you guys and the Rhein Fire. So definitely good to watch and obviously to keep an eye on. Let's dive into this week's game. Obviously, it's a big game. Everyone's talking about it. It's the home opener for you guys, and you guys are going up against the Cologne Centurions. Have you had the chance to watch the film from last year when they played each other?
A little bit here and there. I just know that it was an absolute shootout last year.
Yeah, I think they combined for over 100 points between the two teams. Yeah. Absolute crazy game to watch, and I think a lot of people are expecting that. Obviously, as a player, I'm sure you don't want it to be that high scoring, at least for your defense. But looking at the Cologne Centurions this year, you know, what type of challenges do they face for you guys? What type of difficulties do you think they're gonna be able to provide for you guys?
I think that they're going to be probably the most complete football team that we've seen so far. I don't know if, you know, I want to say they have a really good defense, but I mean, there's numbers will say something else. But they're a good team. Definitely probably the best offense we've faced so far. So our defense is going to have a good test, but our defense has been playing lights out all year, man. And
more defense in the league right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're absolutely playing like it too. And they're really the backbone of this team. They're carrying us. And hopefully in that we'll just be able to put up a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, I think what's exciting for this game is that, you know, everyone likes scoring. And obviously we mentioned it before, you know, from a player, we don't want it to be too much of a high scoring game because that means one side of the ball is not doing their job. But the potential for this game with the quarterbacks, the playmakers, and it's definitely going to give the fans a show in the ELF. What I would say what you were saying about the defense for the Cologne, they are a much better defense. Obviously, the numbers may not show it, but it's going to be interesting to see them go up against a team that could go pound for pound with them on offense because I don't think they really faced that for 4 quarters between their first 2 games. So it's going to be interesting to watch. Your home opener, obviously we mentioned it this weekend. What would be your message to the Dragon fans out there? What you're going to realize is they're a crazy bunch of people, probably one of the most passionate fan bases in the league. But what would be your message to the team for your home opener on Saturday?
I have been hearing nothing but how crazy our fans are, and I hope to see every bit of it on
They're
Saturday.
wild, bro.
We need that.
They're
We need it. Man, we need it. We need the stadium to be packed. We need to have a clear-cut advantage playing home games.
Sure.
And you know, we did the best we could going 2-0 and trying to come back here and go 3-0. And so we need to have a home field advantage and have that place rocking on Saturday.
Most definitely. Well, Kyle, I appreciate your time, man. You know, again, not only am I looking forward to it, everybody's looking forward to this game on Saturday. I'm sure the Dragon fans, you'll hear them loud and clear this weekend. So, hey, good luck this man. I appreciate you coming on. This won't be the last time we chop it up. You can catch the Barcelona Dragons versus the Cologne Centurions this Saturday, as it's probably the game of the week in the ELF. So make sure we stay tuned for that. Now, before we get into breaking down the rest of the games, here's a quick commercial from our team over at Knoah Teamwear. everyone, let's dive into a little bit of the games now, a little bit of the matchups. I'll give you some quick thoughts for the games we have this weekend. First one on Saturday. I want to talk about the Hamburg Sea Devils versus the Leipzig Kings. Two teams coming off losses. One devastating, actually both are devastating losses. Hamburg losing to the Barcelona Dragons, which is something that a lot of people didn't expect, but maybe we underestimated the Dragons team thus far. Hamburg's still a good team. I'm sure they're going to be seeking to bounce back from last week's game. Leipzig coming off a tough loss against the Fire, a loss where they ultimately beat themselves with the amount of turnovers they had towards the end of the game. Looks like their passing offense is picking up a little bit, so it's going to be fun to see how that develops. When I think about the two teams, I think the offensive passing game versus the Hamburg Sea Devil defensive passing game is going to be something to watch with the imports on both sides. I still have questions about the Sea Devils passing offense. I know they can run the ball. I think Leipzig has a defense to stop the run. So it would be interesting if they could force the Sea Devils to pass and play and have a battle. Will Cisse and that Sea Devils offense be able to go back and forth with the Leipzig Kings? This is gonna be a good game to watch. A lot of good games to watch, but this is gonna be a good game to watch. A conference game in the North. My pick for this game, I'm gonna roll with the Leipzig Kings. I think they fixed their turnover battle. Head coach Fred Armstrong gets his team all right. And I think they got the guys to, put up some points against the Sea Devils. So my pick for this game is going to be the Leipzig Kings. Next game we got, this is the game of the week. This is the game everyone wants to see. And ultimately it was going to tell us, who is the top dog in the South. We have the Cologne Centurions traveling to beautiful Barcelona to play the Dragons in the conference game. We have the number one offense in the Cologne Centurions versus the number one defense in the Barcelona Dragons. It's going to be a good game to watch. There's playmakers on both sides of the ball, especially on the offensive side. We get to see Jan Bainreich versus Zach Edwards, Magic Zach, who was a Chio Player of the Week last week. Not much of a run game on both parts, but the playmakers at the receivers position is going to make this one very exciting. Quentin Pounds and those boys, Louis Geyer, Paul Laurent. And then you have, Mario Flores, you got Kyle Sweet, who we talked to earlier. This is going to be an interesting game to watch. It's going to be a fun game to watch. Last year, these two teams combined for over 100 total points. I don't think we'll see that high of a score game, but I think it's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. Again, the number one offense versus the number one defense. They say defense wins championships. Well, this is going to be a big test of the Barcelona defense, something that I'm personally excited about. For this week, I'm going to roll with the Barcelona Dragons. I think they have the momentum. This is a different team from last year in terms of the mentality and the development of the players. My biggest thing is when you have a defense like the Cologne Centurions, who do play a lot of man, it's going to be hard against the Barcelona Dragons receiving group. And, for the first 2 weeks with the amount of points that they've given up, I'll be a little hesitant of picking the Colognes, the Cologne Centurions, just me personally. I don't count the offense out. I believe the offense will put up points, but ultimately they're going to have to stop the Barcelona Dragons. And I don't know how much they'd be able to stop the Dragons in this matchup. So my pick for this game, I'm going to roll with Barcelona Dragons to beat the Cologne Centurions and take the top spot in the South. Next game we got Stuguard Surge versus the Vienna Vikings. Stuguard made a big improvement from last week. We started to see a little bit of their passing game and them stretching the ball downfield vertically. I don't know if that's going to be able to work against Vienna. This is a much better defense. Excuse me. It's a much better defense. I think Jackson Erdman and that offense, and they get rolling a little bit. They get into a little bit of a rhythm and put things together. Even though they've been the number one team and they've had some great wins, it still seems like the chemistry hasn't always been there. But I think this is the week they put it together. I think Stuguard definitely makes it a good game. I don't think they get blown out like they did against Barcelona. I think we see more of the week 2 Stuguard Surge, but ultimately I think the Vienna Vikings have too many weapons on both sides of the ball. So my pick for this game, I'm rolling with the Vienna Vikings. Next, we have the Istanbul Rams versus the Rhein Fire. This is the home opener for the Rhein Fire. So I'm sure, this is going to be a fun one to watch. All NFL Europe team with an amazing fan base, bringing it back to Dusseldorf. So this is going to be a good one. Istanbul Rams, I mean, we got to find out who they are. We're going to find out who they are this week. Are they more like the week 1 team that we saw versus Cologne? Or are they going to be more like the week 2 team that we saw versus Berlin? I think this is more of a week 1 team. I think they'll make things interesting. If they lose this game, I think a lot of people are going to start to kind of figure out, okay, I guess it depends on how they lose, right? Because if they get blown out like Berlin, people are going to say, all right, well, do they have the weapons and do they have the talent to compete in the league? Or, if they make things interesting like Cologne, what tweaks do they have to make to get over the hump to get that first win? I think the Rhein Fire are a little bit more seasoned, and I know that's early to say, being that it's only been 2 games, but you can just see the experience, you can see the complementary football in all 3 phases of the game. I think Coach Tomsula gets his team ready. I don't think they lose their home opener versus the Istanbul Rams. So my pick for this game, I'm going with the Rhein Fire. I almost said the Rams. I'm going with the Rhein Fire to win this game. We have the Russelloff Panthers playing the Frankfurt Galaxy. Now, both teams have kind of been bit by the injury bug. So it's going to be, I'm curious to see what type of game this is going to be, who steps up, who's able to, overcome that, overcome injuries the most and prevail with a win. The Panthers, in their first 2 games, I'm not going to lie, they haven't been, I'm not too impressed with what I've seen so far, but again, it's still early. They haven't been able to put things together, even though they are 2-0, pulling out wins against the Kings and the Surge. But the Surge did give them a battle, and you did see them get tested a little bit vertically in their passing game outside of Darius Robinson. So, and this game they're also without their linebacker William Lloyd. So I'm interested to see who's going to step up on either team for this win. With the Frankfurt Galaxy, they got guys on defense, so I feel like they'll be able to to slow down the Panthers offense a little bit. Malik Stanley is someone you're gonna have to watch out for. The guy is a dog. Malik Stanley is a dog, but I feel like they have multiple guys where if they want to double him, if they want to have a guy over top. You definitely don't want to give him single coverage to the side, because he'll destroy the DBs up all day. So this game is going to be interesting to see for me which defense is going to play the best, because ultimately I think the best defensive team is going to win this game. I think I got the Frankfurt Galaxy to win this game. I got the Panthers on upset alert this week. Again, their first 2 wins haven't really been convincing to me. Winning in the game against the Kings on a fumble at the end when they were driving, and then the Stuguard Surge only beating them by a couple points. On top of that, with the injuries this week, I think the Galaxy are going to be able to pull this one out. And the reason why I say that is because I think their defense is going to be the ones to play the best in this game. So I'm going to rock with the Frankfurt Galaxy, upsetting the Russelloff Panthers in Frankfurt. The Berlin Thunder versus the Raiders of Tyrol. I've been back and forth on this game. It's these teams are more equal than you would think. Berlin didn't really have a good showing against Hamburg, but obviously, they exploded against the Rams. The Raiders lose a close one to Vienna, and then penalties and a little bit of undisciplined ball. They lose a close one to Cologne. So they've been in close games. They've ultimately been killing themselves. We've seen 2 different types of Berlin teams. So which Berlin team is going to show up? I think the Thunder's strength on offense or run game plays into the Raiders' strength on defense. So if you neutralize that, my question is Joe Gimnario going to be able to lead this Berlin team against this Raiders pass defense? And then on the other side, you got a seasoned vet like Sean Shelton. I think they win in the passing game, like the wide receiver aspect of it. But this Berlin D line is brutal, and they could get after the quarterback. And if Kyle Kitchens could lead those boys and have some type of impact, this game could be close. And do the Raiders dare to drop another one at home against Berlin. So I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting game. Berlin has we saw a little bit of their third down package with the madness going on up front with their D linemen. So, are you gonna man block or you gonna zone block? Ultimately you're gonna have to get Logan Moran in there to help protect Sean as well in the passing game if they do decide to go with that type of front. So I'm curious to see how it's going to play out. I've been back and forth on this game, but I think I'm going to roll with Berlin Thunder. I think we see a different aspect to the Berlin Thunder offense. We see Joe Germanario get more involved in the passing game and orchestrate that offense for Berlin. I think Jock, I don't think he's held to the amount of yards he had against the Sea Devils. I don't think he goes off like he did against the Rams, but I think he does have an impact. Someone who also have an impact in the passing game as well. So I'm rocking with the Berlin Thunder to win this game in Innsbruck, Austria, against the Raiders. Well, those are my picks for this week's slate. Our special guest picker this week, we have Alex Malchow. He is a contributor on AFI Review, Europe's Elite International Scout. You can also follow him at Euroball Chow on Twitter via the tag we have up here. So we have him today making picks, and his picks as we go against each other. He also has the Barcelona Dragons. We go head-to-head in the Sea Devils Kings game as he's picking the Sea Devils. We're lockstep with the Vikings and the Rams. We go head-to-head with the Panthers and the Galaxy. We also go head-to-head with the Thunder and the Raiders. So there's going to be some movement. The last 2 weeks has only been one game where that's been making a difference, but we have a couple this week, so it's going to be interesting to figure that out. So we'll see what happens. And again, if Athletes Forum is able to pull this one out, we're going to be giving out some free gear on behalf of our team over at Knoah Teamwear. So, we'll see what happens. It's going to be a good week to watch. Tune into all the games this weekend. Remember in order to enter in the contest, you got to follow Knoah Teamwear on Instagram. You got to follow Athletes Forum on Instagram. And, I'll send you some gear if we win. All right. Well, it's been a great week. A lot of things has happened this week as we're gearing up for, tomorrow's slates. I'm so excited. Again, the Barcelona Centaurs game is going to be phenomenal. Definitely the game to watch throughout the whole weekend if I had to pick one. So that's something I'll be keeping my eye on. Thank you guys for watching. And again, this won't be the last time we chop it up.
Hard work, they don't know about